Why do people bend over backwards to defend shoplifting nowadays? As a lawyer, I can guarantee that shoplifters, particularly at Walmart, are very much prosecuted and held accountable. DA's offices, at least around where I work, are not just letting these crimes go. As for the general population, I think people don't mind seeing large corporations lose a little money to shoplifters because they make so much the losses are negligible. Moral of the story? Don't steal from Walmart. They are out for blood. If I see you stealing food because you can't afford it, I didn't see anything. The corporations having been price fixing and gauging us for a very long time. This is what people are usually referring to. I'm talking about people who steal in bulk to resell, boosting, or to brag about their hauls online, or just for the hell of it. I don't think very many people support this. Price gouging is also morally wrong. Source: I work at Dollar Tree. People need to learn that it's okay to hate criminals and megacorps equally. When an ordinary person takes something that doesn't actually belong to them and boosts it, we call it thievery. When a business owner does it, we call it the economy. When you look at the amount of wage theft and price gouging that is going on, I can't help but think that we have created a double standard about who is and who is not allowed to take without asking. We tolerate theft when the perpetrator is rich. We don't tolerate it when the perpetrator is poor. And so, if the big economic players have violated the social contract, and government has allowed them to violate the social contract, then a natural consequence would be that ordinary people would come to believe that the social contract no longer applies to them either. I am not saying this is good. I am just saying one thing follows another. I am not justifying thievery. I don't think it is okay, and I would never do it myself, on principle. However, I do want people to realize just how rigged the game is. The answer is not to steal, but to demand reforms. Sadly, we live in a practical world where, in order for people to actually move to reform, things need to get bad enough. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. It's only right to steal it if you need it but are unable to afford it because idiot companies price gouge everything. Stealing is still immoral. It's not that the people you're reading don't think stealing is wrong. It's that they believe stealing back from thieves, who use the letter of the law as a shield, is far more justifiable than stealing from innocent individuals who would suffer real harm. Those thieves may be bad people looking out for themselves, but they also found a way to steal that doesn't create real victims. The foundation for this way of thinking about theft depends on how you define theft. Does your definition of theft acknowledge theft through lopsided corporate leverage, tactics to manipulate or coerce consumers, and lack of choice on basic necessities through monopolization of marketplaces? Some people have more complex ethical models than the letter of the law as the height of ethics. As a side note, most of the videos I've seen showing people stealing in bulk show them stealing by illegally taking those hauls out of the damn dumpster. No joke. It's theft in swaths of the US to salvage never-sold products in corporate garbage cans destined for landfill. Because the biggest rise is shoplifting rates are for survival crimes, not the examples you are describing. In the reports I've seen from Europe, I'm aware you're from the US, but this is a pretty global issue. The most commonly shoplifted items are infant formula and fresh foods like meat and vegetables. Most of us are okay with the idea of people stealing from massive companies to feed themselves. The pricks taking the piss don't change my overall view on that. I can't assume why someone's shoplifting, but I know for a fact the company only cares about its profits. A combination of people gets a kick out of seeing the large corpos losing a bit of money, and the fact that prices has skyrocketed. While more and more people are in the poverty group in our society. In Norway, prices have gone up plus 20% in 3 years on groceries, while the owners have had record earnings. Combines with more people earning less, and rent has gone up. Well, it's expensive being poor. Probably has to do with how out of control corporations are getting. They're allowed to steal and abuse their power, but we're not. Seems like we rather fight the battles we know we can make an impact in instead of standing up to the larger problem, i.e. it's easier to go after the shoplifters because they're likely on our social level. But it's daunting, scary, and likely downright impossible for us to take down larger corrupt organizations. Is this a thing? I've never heard of people proudly defending shoplifting. People celebrate shoplifting because it's often depicted as people stealing from large chain stores like Walmart. People hate large chain stores like Walmart for hundreds of reasons, like price gouging, union busting, terribly low wages, corporate lobbying, etc. When people steal from them, they see it as getting even. Morality isn't as black and white as stealing is bad. I have an 8-year-old son that understands it's deeper than that. Is op really that dense? I would never report stolen food, but would report most all other thefts. Why do people bend over backwards to defend shoplifting nowadays? This is not happening. Let me guess. You saw a Reddit thread or a Twitter thread that mentioned it and now believe this is the norm. Stealing $1,000 of product is bad. But it's hard to care when there's a flood of criminals stealing $1 billion at a time from people and always getting away with it. The $1,000 thief isn't even a rounding error of the thefts today. Wasn't there a law or something passed in New York? I think NY. That made it much harder, nearly impossible to prosecute someone if they stole less than $900 worth of items? See where we disagree is this. A lot of people don't think stealing is morally wrong from places like Walmart. Because as far as we're concerned, since they exploit the poor, it's foul game. Stealing from, say, a mom and pop local shop, that's wrong. But stealing from Walmart, Petco, places where the only pockets you're hurting by stealing is millionaire CEOs. I just can't see why I should feel bad about that. If anything, I feel good about it. I wish I could do more harm to them without getting caught. Now stealing in bulk for resale, not just to have a little luxury you couldn't normally afford, I think is kinda stupid, granted. And that whoever does so is bound to be caught if they do it regularly. But if it's from places like Walmart, I still don't really have a huge problem with it. Honestly, I wouldn't do it, but I really don't care. IDC about shoplifting personally, because IDC if a megacorp losses out and regular person gets something. The general practice of most megacorp makes me feel like it's a Robin Hood situation. Just my take though. I work at a grocery store and recently, somebody tried to steal 150 cans of fish. The result? The coworker who found the person stealing got €30 and my other coworker, who had responsibility for that shift, got problems because she didn't do the silent alarm thingy. They wouldn't have done anything if the person stealing would have shown any violent behavior, and even joke that next time they'll do 50-50 with the person stealing. The chain we work at made record earnings and we get nothing from it. So why should we give a damn? In the end, we're always at fault anyway. In the United States, we have the means to provide health care, higher education, and housing to the entire population. We don't because the majority of the population is simply working to survive and so conditioned to accept the status quo. When that changes, Then I'll stop thinking of you as a bootlicker for being so concerned about this.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. xXx-A-xXx is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.